try and cut out some of the errors. I mean, it's hard to do when you're trying to hit the ball hard. But, you know, she's got to get up the court and try and get Hingis running from side to side to side and stop the same situation happening to herself, because obviously she is slower than Hingis. I wonder if Seles is feeling a little bit tired after yesterday. She's had a three-setter, a tough one in the quarters, and then had to play another match, whereas Hingis won in straight sets. I mean, I don't know whether that'll come into play here.
Really did need that serve.
Eyes glued to the ball for this one.
She reversed the happening of the first set and hangs on to the opening service game here in the second. And Joe, just looking ahead to the US Open in a couple of weeks, I mean, the women's game we've mentioned before is in such a healthy state at the moment. All the players seem to be peaking at the right time. It's as open as it has been for years, isn't it?
I think so, yeah, I agree with that. I think it's going to be very exciting when you've got, you know, Hingis, who's regained the #1 spot, who beat, you know, Venus Williams, San Diego, but then you've got Davenport, who seems to be playing brilliant and who's beaten also Venus Williams. But then if you look at Venus Williams, who loves the hard court and seems to be playing well, and of course you can't discount Serena. So with, you know, the four of them, and I mean, it's just, to me, I think it's so nice when you go into a Grand Slam event and you're not sure who's going to win it, or you can, you know, take a pick. I don't know, I just think Venus Williams loves the US Open. She really loves the atmosphere there, and I think I might go for her this time.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be interesting. And look at that first serve percentage from Micah Seles, 96%, but she's still a set down. But it is the unforced errors that Joe mentioned earlier, 8-3. It's only a 5-point difference. But it was a tight first set. So it really is a few points here and there is going to separate it. So set up and 1-love down, Martina Hingis on serve. No hesitation at all.
And a great first serve again from Hingis. You know, as soon as Seles has to play a one-handed shot, that she's in trouble with her movement.
Grimace there, and a little lifting up of the right leg. I hope she's not got a little strain.
Well, she's been careful, isn't she, about the stress fracture that she had. And she had to pull out of the Fed Cup tie. So I know she came into this tournament saying, well, I'll test it out, really. She hopes to be fit for the Open.
Yes, no such luck from Anna Kournikova from Russia. She's pulled out with a stress fracture to the right foot. So the fellas will be disappointed. Still the relaxed look on the world's #1's face. Winning San Diego a couple of weeks ago, Joe, she surpassed $10 million in prize money at 18 years of age.
Wow.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg with the sponsorships and so on.
Just stroking the ball to the corner there. Hardly looks any effort at all.
This match is getting better and better.
I think the serving's getting better and better. I mean, obviously, they both know that the other one returns well, so they have to serve well.
And quite often they're serving two in a row, aren't they? Sort of neck and neck.
Even more effort going into the shots of Monica Seles now.
Well, that's extraordinary tennis. And the key, of course, Joe, is that when you're going to hit big shots all the time, you don't just do it off every ball. You have to pick the right ball.
Yeah, you want to try and put the pressure on first and then wait for the slightly shorter one, which Seles is doing brilliantly.
So 2-1, Monica Seles in the second set. Beautiful shot of the stadium court here in Toronto. A full house, the crowd thoroughly enjoying this one. Slightly lower first serve percentage for Monica Seles. Ahead on the winner's stake, 8 points. One with winners more than Martina Hingis, but the unforced errors on to 6. It's 3-2 now in the second set to Monica Seles. This really is a good match, Joe. It's a good battle.
Yes, it's almost a battle of wills, isn't it? Can Seles sort of impose herself more on Hingis? And, you know, I know the grunts are getting louder, but she's trying to be up the court. She's trying to hit the ball hard. She really does want to win this. She wants to beat the #1 in the world.
She'd just love to be #1 again herself, wouldn't she?
Oh, she would, yes.
Not far away at #5, and I'm sure that'll improve when the rankings next week are brought out, especially with Steffi Graf retiring. I presume she'll be taken off the computer, Joe.
Well, I presume so. I'm sure Steffi wouldn't want to sort of slither down the rankings as tournament after tournament came off. She's made the decision, so I guess she'll come straight off.
She's making that error early in the game that she's got to try to stop, isn't she?
Yeah, it's if she hits the first couple, Hingis gets them back, and she goes for too much when she's too far back.
Now, she pulled herself up there, Monica. Is that because it was a half-court ball and there was no chance of running it down, or is that a potential injury?
No, I think she's just guarding against trying to push off too much on the foot that was injured. And really, she wasn't going to get the next ball.
her apologising, I assume, because she stopped right in the middle of the point, which again suggests the foot.
Well, also with the let cord, there you go. And then she didn't move. Hingis could have put that anywhere and won the point.
This is a great match tactically to watch, though, isn't it, Joe? Because Monica's clearly looking to hit the big return, as you say, to dominate the point before Martina does. And it's a lesson for any young player out there in terms of tactics.
Also a good lesson on how to absorb the pace coming from your opponent and use it for yourself.
Not by much. Great point. Crowd warming to Seles' task.
Ooh, big point there. Return had to be in the court. And that's what I mean right there, absorbing the pace coming from Seles, but then using it, taking it early, not a big swing, but using the pace and just placing it down the line.
This is so good to watch. You can learn so much from this match. Look at the determination. That's the trade-off, isn't it?
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a really good second serve from Hingis, because she's put in a few short ones, but that was nearly on the line. And it just forced Seles to go for a bit more than she wanted to.
Four on the third.
Ooh, big point there. Return. And that's what I mean right there, absorbing the pace coming from Seles, but then using it, taking it early, not a big swing, but using the pace and just placing it down the line.
This is so good to watch. You can learn so much from this match. Look at the determination. That's the trade-off, isn't it?
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a really good second serve from Hingis, because she's put in a few short ones, but that was nearly on the line. And it just forced Seles to go for a bit more than she wanted to.
So surviving the breakpoint chances, Martina Hingis levels again at 3-all, second set. That'll hurt Monica, won't it?
Yeah, she had chances in that game, and she knows it. I mean, where's the balance between... She had to go for the serve when she was breakpoint up, but then I'm not sure she really did go for it. Maybe she was trying to get it in and then hesitated in her mind, put it in the net.
Such a clever idea. It's the right idea.
Just coming round too quickly on the shot, coming across the ball, instead of following the path where she wanted to hit it. Great play again from Seles. You almost think it's too deep for her to hit a winner off that.
Well, yeah, no wonder Martina is slapping the ball away. That simply was just too good. And it sees Monica Seles there with that one-game advantage going into the change of ends. We'll be back after the break. 4-3 to Monica Seles here in the final of the Du Maurier Open.
I think Hingis is looking very fit, actually. She's not breathing as hard as she normally does in these long rallies, so that 4 weeks of training has done some good.
She said in that time, Joe, that she took a whole look at her life and put it into some sort of perspective, and she certainly looks lighter for that as well. I mean, she's had an enormous amount to contend with for such a young lady. It's extraordinary, really, how well she's coped. Oof, that was close.
I thought it was going in when she hit it. Seles obviously did too.
Quite a few people sitting courtside. No complaint, though, and no overall. When you're that game behind, Joe, in a set, it's always nice to win a game to love, isn't it?
That was a very good game by Hingis there. Placing the ball well, keeping the pressure up on Seles. Those deep ones just catching her sometimes. Preparation wasn't quite early enough. Well, Seles just having a look at the line. It looked into me, looked good. Great recovery from Hingis there, because she was in big trouble. Oof.
That was so close. Set up these two chances to go 5-4 in the second set. Well, yes, from Martina there. She's got the break. A decisive lead now, 5-4 in the second set. And Joe, just to let me throw a couple of questions at you. She's number one in the world, 18 years of age, but the crowd certainly seems to favour her opponent. Pete Sampras had that problem as number one. He often got the crowd against him and it upset him. What can Martina do to get the crowd on her side more?
Well, I'm not sure she can do anything except that, you know, to let her tennis do the talking. I mean, I think a lot of young players have gone through this. You know, Steffi Graf first came on the tour. Everybody was then cheering for Martina and Chris. And of course, you know, when Martina first came on the tour, Navratilova I'm talking about now, then they wanted Chris Evert to win. So I think, you know, the younger ones playing an older player, it's always difficult. But, you know, her tennis is so good. And she's a very nice person. She just says things sometimes which, I don't know, that's what she feels. She says, that's me as a person. I say the things that I feel, so fair enough. And if you're number one in the world, I suppose you can say them. But, you know, if she really loves this game of tennis, then she'll keep playing. And I'm sure her ambition is such as she wants to win Roland Garros badly. It's the Grand Slam that she hasn't won. And, of course, to win Grand Slams, you have to play other tournaments and you have to win them. And to be number one in the world is obviously very big to her, too.
So, Martina Hingis comes out to stop the 5 wins in a row here for Monica Seles. She's serving for the match at 5-4.
Oh, nearly. And Seles has got to keep going for them. She's got to get that first strike in, get Hingis out of position, especially in this game.
Two match points for the top seed. And he needs one of them. She's ended the 24 match winning streak here of Monica Seles. I suppose only fitting the number 1 in the world should do it. And for her, career title number 25. Generous applause.